Welcome to Secura Law Experience. I'm Luis Elizalde, founder of Secura Law. I'm here with
Stephanie de la Millar.
And Eduardo Borgard.
Whoa. Today's a new episode, but we are going to speak something that we already did. Is a closing process. Is the new episode about this. We already have episodes about that, but as I said, we will like to repeat it maybe every 10 episodes or something. So if something arrives or something is new, you will know about that. So this is a closing process. How do you want to start?
2024?
Yeah.
No?
Second season. Yes?
Have it away. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the closing process, to explain it and as easy as we can so you can understand it and get the grasp of the process, is with a 5-step kind of process. The first one is the due diligence. And
After the offer time.
well, yeah. Look, at the very beginning, usually things start with an offer. So that's not our realm.
Exactly.
When we get deals, you already have an offer signed, and there's a previous work done by the buyer, seller, and brokers of each one, right? They've already negotiated price, certain conditions, and when we get into the mix, it's ready to formalize the transaction in a legal and secure way.
Exactly.
Right.
Perfect.
So that's why the due diligence is the first point, because we need to start doing the research of all the documents and the property and the closing in general, right? If we're dealing with a condominium, we have to check the condominium regime. Let's see the HOAs, how's everything's doing. If it's only like just a house without a condominium, well, we check the deed, that person is the only owner that's selling, that there's no other party, as an example, right?
I think the most important is the public registry to review that is free of any lien, property tax that is up to date, and if they have a trust already on that property, trust fideicomiso, to review that there is any debt of that trust. But the most important, no liens or encumbrances on the public registry. And if everything is okay, what happens next? Steph?
Yes. No, and I mean, just closing about the due diligence, the most important, I think, from the public registry is to assure that the person that is selling, it's the title holder in the public registry who is registered. That way, we can know that the title is clean. That means the owner is the duly title holder of the unit or of the property. Then comes the promissory contract.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Are you asking? Oh.
Last time I forgot and I skipped a step.
Really?
Yes.
Nah. No, but it's that's the reason you are here. The last time
Learning.
we missed you because it was only Eduardo and I, and it was like now that we tried to use that, we said something is missing. So let's go with the promissory contract.
Thank you. Okay. The promissory contract is the basically how the transaction will be played, the rules that will be about the transaction itself, the main information that you will find in the contract is the parties, the purchase price, the way to pay the purchase price, and the penalties. What happens if any of the parties breach the contract? It should be a penalty in case that the buyer decides to not move forward. They have to pay a penalty to the seller, and the seller has to pay a penalty if they decide to not move forward with the transaction.
And the penalties has to be equal. It has to be. Normally we use 20%. That's like the normal penalty. And has to be for both parties, seller and buyer. It's a transaction, It's that easy, I think.
Exactly. The main purpose of the contract is exactly to avoid any kind of misunderstandings or that any of the parties feels not covered or in a weaker position than the other. the main purpose is to create obligations and rights for each one of the parties.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's very important to mention also that in the promissory contract, we cannot skip that step, because if we don't have the promissory contract and we said to our client or to the buyer, hey, pay right away the trust. What happens if something happened? You already pay, and to get money back from the bank, oh my God, every bank in all the world, it's really hard to do it. So as soon as we have the contract draft review for the seller buyer, and they are agreed to sign it, to execute the contract, we can move forward to the third step, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
the third step is the trust creation. And we need to do a disclaimer here, because even though the third step is the trust, it's not actually created in that moment. So we have to start working on it, because it will be created by step 4. But in this step, we actually get all the documentation from the buyer to send it to the bank. We get the permit of the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs. In this step, you need to pay the fee for the bank.
I think that's the most important. To start all this third step is the payment of the trust to the bank, or fideicomiso, of course.
Yeah, because even though it's not being created at that point, in the near future it will be, and for the bank to sign the deed and be ready for it, everything has to be done previously.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Most important part is the payment. However, we also need to pay also special attention to the permit of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because this will be transcribed into your deed. And in this part, we have to put all the specific information about who's going to be the beneficiary, meaning owner, who's going to be the substitute beneficiary of that person if they pass. We have to describe the property exactly as it is in the
title,
in the condominium regime, or in the last title. And we need to put who's going to be the seller and describe it efficiently, because sometimes you purchase from a Mexican company, sometimes you purchase from another foreigner. So we have to be very careful with this, because in the future it may be expensive to correct if there's a mistake there. So that's why it's very important, and we are back and forth with you, checking that the info is the one that should be there.
Yeah. And something that you just said about the seller, that's the reason also to have the promissory contract, because in the promissory contract, we request all the documents from the seller. And sometimes the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said, hey, I need the birth certificate of the seller because the passport that you send is not that clear. Little things that if we already have it from the promissory contract, to solve or to get the permit of Ministry of Foreign Affairs is really, really fast. Kind of, it's around 5 to 10 days. They are saying that, but ultimately, it's like that, right?
Yes.
It's not like pandemic, crazy times.
There used to be a time long ago that the permits took around a month and a half to be out.
Wow.
Once entered. Mm-hmm. Now the turnabout time, it's about a week, 10 days maybe. So it's pretty fast now.
That's good.
Yeah.
So in that step is like pay the trust, fideicomiso, get the permit, and as soon as we have the permit, correct, a right permit, we gather all the information and send that all to the first step, which is
the public deed, the closing itself. I mean, closing for you, that it's the main moment where you will be scheduled to be in person here to sign your title. That is the recommendation that we always do. If you are able to travel to Mexico, come and sign your title, because it's important. It's an important moment for yourself to sign your own title. If you are not able for any kind of reason, you can grant us a power of attorney that is created especially just to sign on your behalf. It's a green main document that the notary issues, that it's a public document that it's public because it will be designated to be recorded in the public registry to publish your ownership right further.
And the important thing of that public deed is that, as Eduardo said, everything is going to be there. You don't need a contract with the bank, a different contract with the bank, a different title. You're not going to have like 3-4 different documents. Everything is going to be one big document in which you're going to see the transaction, the contract with the bank. Everything is going to be there. So don't believe the thing that you can find in internet. In Mexico, everything is well done. It's perfect. And you will see everything in writing. It's going to be the name of the seller, the name of the trustee bank, and your name as buyer. So you can be sure that you are doing a really good investment in Mexico. With the title, of course, on the public deed.
If you are surrounded by the right people.
Thank you.
Exactly. And the part also that's very important about the fourth step is that in this step is where the notary public here steps in to formalize all of this that we've talked about. And obviously, there's fees to pay here. Also, in the third step, you pay the bank. In this step, you pay the taxes because you're actually closing the transaction in front of a notary public, and therefore they have to pay the taxes on your behalf. So that's when you pay these fees. That's usually it's the highest part percentage-wise of the whole closing process and cost.
That tax, the acquisition tax, I think we already have an episode of that. Charlie, if you can help us with that, if they can look for that episode. Yeah, we have it?
Yes, we
I'm
do.
pretty sure acquisition tax is heavy.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're right. I didn't think about that, but in that moment, they have to pay that. It's an also question that normally we have when we have to pay everything. So you already said in the third step they have to pay the trustee bank, and in the fourth step the notary public they have to pay the fees and taxes regarding with the notary public.
Exactly. So I mean, it's both are very important. We can have everything ready and you can sign the deed, but if you don't pay the notary fees, the notary cannot pay the taxes and then go into the public registry, right? So it's very important that we take care of both at the same time.
Exactly. And one most important, because you can say or you can think, hey, it's already the closing, I signed, I have my title, I have a certified copy maybe of the title, so I'm done. Not exactly. Remember what was the first step?
Yeah, the public registry.
Exactly. So Eduardo came with this idea last year, I think. It's full circle. You say that?
Yeah. Once you start the process, we start up at the public registry, and once we're finished, we become full circle because we end where we started.
Exactly.
So once you sign, now the notary on your behalf gets every document into the public registry to start all over. If you want to sell in the future, your buyer will have to go to the public registry, and then they will find that you're the owner, and the circle goes again.
So the
Basically.
fifth step is
The recording process. No?
the public registry. Good.
Yeah.
You don't forget anything.
Yay!
So that the public registry is amazing because at the end, as you said, when they want to sell, maybe the attorney that the buyer is gonna hire, they will see that in the public registry is their name. So that's the last step that you don't have to worry about that. That's the reason you hire us. We have to be sure that everything is correct, be recorded, and after that, what is the name? You have a special name for boleta registro.
Registration ballot.
Okay, good. So with that document, you can show to everyone that your property is duly recorded in the public registry. So that's like in general a closing process. I think we have already a little more time to speak about something about the closing process that you feel that could be a good idea. For example, power attorney.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, the most important part to close up like the 5 steps is that after the 5th final step, which is the recording process at the public registry, you should end up with a registration ballot, as Luis said. And this is a very important document because sometimes people you throughout the process you get a simple copy, a certified copy, and sometimes people think that that's their original document and they never pick up
The title.
the title. And then when they want to sell, they give these documents to their buyers and they cannot find it at the public registry because they have no clue about the registration ballot, right? So it's very important for you just to notice that once the process is finished, we will contact you to let you know that the testimony is ready and the registration ballot is ready to be given to you at any point when you want to come or schedule a meeting with us. The point is you will get it and keep these documents safe. Obviously, we also get a scanned copy
Yes.
for security reasons. If you lose it or if we need it for you, we keep a digital copy. But this document, you have to take care of it because if you lose it or something happens to it, you can get another one, but it will cost you money.
Yeah. Important thing. I don't know if you can, Charlie, Danta Visual, you can do something like something really red or ambulance. I don't know, something. Because at the end, you pay your taxes, and the notary they retain and pay the taxes directly to the municipality, and then they send everything to the public registry. And we have to consider the municipality is for the municipality, and the public registry is for the state. So as soon as you have your your title duly recorded, the last step that we will be glad to help you, of course, is the change of the name on the municipality, because it's not automatically. Maybe you will say, hey, but you already deliver everything recorded. Why, when I go and pay my property tax, I don't have my name on it? Because, of course, the state not going to send a notice to the municipality to do that change. It's very simple. It's easy. You have your title duly recorded, and with that, we can do the change. It's kind of 1 week process, but you don't have to worry. As soon as you have your title recorded, your process is perfect. The change is only one more step at the end that we will be glad. It's not in our services, but we will be glad to help you with that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just for you to know that your investment is not at risk because the municipality doesn't have the updated name. Because sometimes they feel that the process is not done and the property is still in the name of the seller. No, that's not the case. The municipality has this record only for property tax purposes.
Exactly.
And when you pay every year, they have like the name they have registered in, right?
Yes.
You can pay it, doesn't matter if it's 3 owners behind, but obviously you will have to update it and put it to your name, but that does not put at risk the property that you've purchased, basically. That's the most important part that you need to know, so
Yeah.
you don't run scared thinking that you've been taken advantage of.
Yeah, exactly. So I think for the end, to finish this, could be good idea just to list the 5 steps, and that's it. Did you?
Yeah.
In my face.
No, here. Oh my God.
Or here. Right there.
No, it doesn't matter. Put it on my
No.
Okay. Yes.
So I think that's it. It was very, very useful information. Very short because it's the main idea. If you have questions, please contact us. We'll be glad to help you, assist you, respond, speak with you. Will be amazing. And you have something else?
Thank you for watching us and listening us.
Always.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.